quick shout out to my amazing sponsors for the Patriot Barbie podcast. My title sponsor is Dr. Stephen Soloway. He is known globally as the Miracle MD. He's the author of Bad Medicine, a book about bad politics, bad government, bad hospitals, bad drug companies, and bad doctors. Buy it on drsoloway.com. My other sponsor, Celtic Plastics, is a water filtration system for your home and work that clears bacteria, fluoride, and heavy metals from your drinking water. You can buy one on CelticPlastics.com and use my code PatriotBarbie for 10% off. And one last shout out to Red Balloon. Thousands of companies are pushing back on wokeness in the workplace. Find a freedom-loving, non-woke job at redballoon.work and follow them on Instagram at redballoonwork. For all my sponsor info, book, and merch, go to patriotbarbie.com. Like, subscribe, and share this podcast. Now, let's get into today's episode. Welcome to the Patriot Barbie podcast. I'm your host, Lindsey Graham, author and conservative activist. I love Jesus. I love America. I'm a proud wife, mom of 3, and I'm having bold and witty conversations with America's patriots, the ones that cancel culture desperately want to blacklist. Trust me, I've been there. In 2020, I defied government lockdowns in Oregon, reopened my salon, and became an icon of freedom. I've been targeted by government and raging liberals every day since, and I refuse to back down. Patriots, I'm here to tell you, your values are worth fighting for. The Patriot Barbie podcast starts now. Welcome to the Patriot Barbie podcast. Check out my awesome, clipboard, by the way. Everything you could ever want to know about me is on my clipboard in my water bottle. Oh my gosh. I have no idea how this episode's going to go. I'm super stoked about it. This is going to be extremely controversial. In fact, I got an email from this guest saying, "Are you sure you want to have me on? You're going to get so much crap." And I'm like, dude, this is what it's about, having real conversations. And one of the things that I've been speaking up against recently is the cancel culture within the conservative community. The fact that so many conservatives think that we all have to be on the same page about every single topic. And I'm like, that would actually make us this really weird two-party country, which we are not. I appreciate diversity. I appreciate other opinions. I appreciate having healthy, resourceful, educational conversations, even debates with people who don't agree with me. And especially as a Christian, I have a hard time with some of the very stoic, black and white behavior and beliefs of people in the conservative movement. You know, I've shared a lot of I think it's Kitty Demure's videos. She's a drag queen that speaks up against the drag queen happy hours and things like that. And people go, "Why are you sharing, drag queen videos?" And I go, look, dude, if someone's going to join me as an ally in this fight, I'm going to take the ally, whether I 100% agree with everything that person believes in or does. And that's what it's about. And if we start acting the way the left does, we're going to end up like the left, broken, beaten, isolated, solitary, eating each other, chewing each other, and spitting each other out before we aren't actually unified. And I think what needs to happen in the conservative movement is that people go, okay, let's pick our really important values. Let's align on those. And if we disagree on these tinier things, then I'm going to, agree to disagree. We're going to let that go and let's unite. And so today I'm bringing on a drag queen. His name is Ryan. He is Lady MAGA. He is nationally renowned drag queen that is, a quote from him, a hardcore patriot. And here's the deal. You guys know I'm a Christian. You know that I may not love men dressing as drag. Of course, I would never take my children, and Ryan's going to agree with me on that. But this man is our ally because he is speaking up against so many of these disgusting behaviors in the drag queen LGBTQA movement that is indoctrinating our kids. And you know what? This is an ally that I welcome. So Ryan, welcome to the Patriot Barbie podcast.
Hello, Patriot Barbie.
Hello.
I really love that intro because it kind of sets up the stage because I'll tell you this, you may get some backlash from talking to me from people who have never watched 5 minutes of my content.
Totally. Which is fine. Yeah, of course those are the people.
But they make a lot of assumptions because of Drag Queen Story Hour and drag queens stripping in front of children. And they're like, you dress up, you must be one of them. So
Right.
I always tell people this, you know what? I get hate from the left. They got me fired from my job in the airline industry as a flight attendant. I can't say the name of the
Ooh,
airline.
because there's a lawsuit coming. Is that why?
Me. Yeah. So basically the left has tried to cancel me in every way, shape, and form. I get messages that, can I say the B word on here?
Yeah, I think so.
No. I get messages from the LGBTQ community in Utah saying, BITCH, we know where you live and you better watch.
Oh, please. Oh, okay.
So,
Just to clarify really quick, do they actually know where you live? Because they love to say that. And then you're like, how'd you find my address, bro?
because I was friends with these leftists before I came out of the closet as a conservative. So that's
Aha. Okay.
so anybody who watches this, listen. I came on the show today as a man with my beard because you have to understand behind the whole Lady MAGA USA fun is an alpha patriot who would take a bullet to the head to defend our Constitution, to defend free speech, and that includes
Mm.
free speech with which I disagree, and to defend the Second Amendment, because without the Second Amendment, we're going to be Australia, and they're going to arrest
Yep.
us in parks.
Yep.
That's so that's basically it. And my other message to people who are watching this is you do not have to like homosexuality. You don't have to agree with homosexuality. You don't have to agree with the fact that I love to dress up and be a drag artist. But I'm hoping that when the commies come for us, and they will, you're in a trench and I show up to
Hold
defend
on.
this.
Do you show up as Lady MAGA, by the way, like with a glittery holster?
You know,
I got to picture this.
fun, just to make it fun, I might. But my message is this is what President Trump and the Make America Great Again
Mhm.
movement is about.
Yep.
Um, we cannot, like, let's say, a conservative like Bryson Gray, he's a rapper. He hates me. Well, he says he doesn't hate me, but he told me the Constitution is not for you. You're disgusting. You should move to
Oh,
Fiji. And I'm like, I get it because you see what drag queens are doing in libraries, literally stripping for children.
right.
But here is my primary message as a drag artist, as a gay guy. Unless we come together and embrace the big tent that Donald Trump and the Make America Great Again movement created, we will
Mhm.
not save our Constitution. We will not save free speech, and we will not save our Second Amendment. And quite frankly, without free speech, which I support, we won't even be able to argue about me wearing a wig. Does that make
We
sense?
won't even be able to arguing about free speech. We won't be able to disagree with free speech
No, we won't
arguments.
be able, I mean, I'm permanently banned from TikTok for
No.
honey, dressing up in a wig, and all I said was a biological man like me can never become a biological woman. And they
Mhm.
banned me from TikTok. I regularly get temporary bans from
Right.
Facebook and everything because I speak out against the LGBTQIA predatory agenda, trying to castrate little boys like I was because he likes Barbies.
Right.
So we have a lot to talk about. So you were worried about hate. I think you're going to get a lot more love than hate because I know my patriot community.
Mhm.
And at first they might be like, whoa, you dress up, you're a drag artist. And I say drag artist because drag queens are doing evil things. And I
Mhm.
don't even call them drag queens, they are drag witches
Yeah.
doing sorcery and the devil's work.
Totally. Yep.
Call myself a drag artist. So people might be like, oh, you dress up, you wear a wig, this is what you like to do, you're evil. And I'm like, honey, I would take a bullet to the head to defend your right to say that. Because if I
To say I
don't,
disagree with you. Yep.
oh, totally.
I will say this too.
Call me an FAG, call me whatever you want. Because the price of free speech in this country is being exposed to speech that hurts your feelings.
Mhm. Yep.
True American is not a snowflake. So if somebody tells me you're going to hell the Bible says you shouldn't dress up. You're gay, whatever. I'm like, honey, I support your free speech.
I support you yelling that at me.
Oh,
Well, I
no,
also love that you don't call them drag queens because queen is a feminine word, which would allege that they are actually female. And I'm pretty sure we agree on this that, you're not actually a female. You're never going to be a female. Doesn't
never.
matter what you do with your private parts or your tucking or your outfits. So,
No, I never tuck. I feel like tucking is a very sexual presentation. Um, if I'm in public or Lady MAGA, period, I'm covered neck to toe in something silly, something fun. If you tuck and you deliberately, duct tape your penis or whatever, I really feel like that is it's a it, it's drawing attention to sexual organs, and I don't
right.
want people to think of me sexually. I want them to see my big wig and laugh.
And your fabulousness.
Oh, well, there you go. So,
Yes, you're
really quick,
fabulous.
because you are Patriot Barbie, and honey, you pull it off well.
No, thank you.
Things to share with you.
Okay.
So, this is one of my favorite T-shirts.
Oh my gosh, Barbie is my BFF. Oh my gosh.
I need a new shirt because Barbie's woke. I don't know if you've
Yep.
seen what Barbie's doing. Oh, it's bad.
Oh, I've seen it. The transgender Barbie and yeah, we've made some
Yeah,
detachable part jokes there.
honey, Barbie is a woman, Barbie is a girl, whatever. So, this was one of my favorite shirts, but I can't promote Barbie, so I need a shirt. I want you to make it for me. Patriot Barbie is my BFF.
You have no idea how quickly I'm going to act on that. I'm going
Oh,
to call my apparel person immediately and make those shirts.
no.
That might be a
No,
new thing.
Patriot Barbie is my BFF. Do that.
Love it.
So
Okay.
also, because you are Patriot Barbie, and I know none of this is important, but um, so let me give a little background. I grew up
Okay.
Mormon. I'm the youngest of 8 children, and I was raised in a very strict fundamentalist Mormon home. And I
Okay.
used to get spanked and punished when I would be caught playing with Barbies,
Mm.
which, some kids like Barbies, whatever. So my parents could have been a little nicer, but um, one of the reasons I became a drag artist is because that Barbie world was so forbidden to me. So I have like a really weirdo, huge collection of 80s Barbies. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
right there. There's the original, the one from Toy Story. I hate Disney. I will never watch Toy Story again. But
Thank
like
you.
the OG, like leg warmers Barbie.
Oh my gosh.
This one right here. Like, look at her. Look at the like faux
Where do you
fur
find these?
thrift stores,
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
which is where I find most of my drag outfits. I don't have any money. I lost my career in the airline industry. So I go to thrift stores and I love to dig. And I have a little song for you. All
Oh my gosh, what a treat. I didn't expect all these gifts when you came on my podcast.
right.
Oh, you're
I
gonna
didn't
sing it?
much. Yeah, I'm gonna sing it. I have it on my little
Oh, this
post.
is heaven. Heaven.
You're a Barbie girl in a commie world. Life with Democrats, it's traumatic. You can do welfare and mooch if you dare. But our nation needs imagination.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Come on,
Oh my,
Patriot, let's go party.
I love
And then,
it.
I love arts and crafts because I am gay. I'm a total flamer. But I'll tell you a little bit about alpha femininity, so to
Okay.
speak,
Okay.
and weak femininity. So anyway,
Okay,
I,
I'm
I
taking
make these
notes.
little like Lady MAGA USA dolls. I repaint the face so it's like Lady
Stop
MAGA.
it.
So no, I just want you to know, like Barbie is my heart and soul, and just like Disney, just like Nike, just like everything else, they've taken it away from us. So
Mhm.
never ever buy a Barbie from Target. Never buy one from Walmart. Go on Etsy or go to a thrift store and just get yourself one of these.
Mhm. So I
Because
have a favor.
yeah, of course.
Okay, this is a big one.
Uh-huh.
Your task is gonna be much bigger than my little, like, print a t-shirt task. Are you ready?
Oh,
We're gonna
okay.
do
All right.
tradesies.
I'm ready for it. I'm writing it down on my
Okay.
post. I'm a
Can
post-it.
you find the perfect brunette Barbie and draw tattoos on her arms and hands and red lipstick and put her in MAGA clothes and make her the Patriot Barbie? Can you make her me?
Honey, that is easier than giving a dirty look to someone wearing a mask in Walmart. I'm so doing it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited. This
Oh,
is gonna make my year.
that'll be awesome. I will make you your own Patriot Barbie. And I mean, we could collaborate. I go to thrift stores all the time, and I literally have like a huge trunk full of old Barbies to like revamp. So
Right.
I got to pick the
Okay,
ones
so
that
do you keep the Barbies regular or do you remake them Lady MAGA Barbies, all of
oh,
them?
I
Is that
totally
like your
remake.
little side gig?
So if you use what's it called, like acetone or nail polish remover, you
Uh-huh.
can wipe off the original face. So here, I'll
Okay.
just show you. Like this is a doll. I try not to say Barbie because I don't want to get in trouble with copyright. So we'll say doll.
Mm,
So like, okay, so here's an original face, right? Oops,
okay.
I'm in reverse. Let's see if I can get that for you. There
You
you go.
got her. Oh
Like
yeah.
simple.
That's
And
Barbie
then
in the morning.
here is the Lady MAGA face.
Oh my gosh, that's so
So I
crazy.
removed everything. I redid the
Uh-huh.
eyebrows, I redid the eyes, I redid the lips. Because basically I have no friends and I have the time to do this.
You have me. You have me. And I'm gonna buy a Lady MAGA Barbie to support you. You sell them, right?
Well, that would be awesome because a lot of people are like, you're a grifter, you're just in this for the money. I'm like, honey, I've had
Oh,
it out for 3 months. I have not made a lot of money, but I have to make this financially sustainable, LadyMAGAUSA.com, because I work at a cafe, a baked potato cafe for minimum wage right now. No shame in that. I will not go
no.
on welfare. I will not go on unemployment. But I was a very, successful, financially sustained flight attendant. And on January 7th, January,
Aha. I
they
know.
opened
I'm
an
picking up what you're putting down.
investigation on me.
Mm.
And the first thing they showed me was my pictures dressed up as Lady MAGA with patriots carrying guns. So they
Oh,
were able
geez.
to label me as a radical. But anyway, knock on wood, I'm going to win my lawsuit. And then you and me are going on a cruise somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, we so
Hey,
are.
I don't
And
want.
and we're not allowed to wear anything that's not MAGA on the cruise, period. We're gonna have to get
Oh,
swimsuits, hats, sunglasses, socks, you
and
name it.
people will love us. My very last visit to Disneyland, and I used to love Disney. Like my mom, she died before our country crumbled, and we
Mm.
went to Disneyland together, and I love Disney. So my very last visit, we all had Trump hats,
Yes.
and the entire time, like people would scream, like we were waiting in line for Pirates of
Oh,
the
I'm
Caribbean,
sure.
and people were like, "Yes,
Oh, they'd
yes!"
scream good things. Oh, yay.
Yeah. That's what most cowardly patriots don't realize. It's like
Mhm.
once you just come out of the closet
Right.
and embrace your Make America Great Again agenda and your love for this country, you're going to get 100 times more love than you're going to get hate. And you
Dude,
encourage
and
other people to step up and come out of the closet like me. I lost everything. Guess what? It was worth it.
yes, absolutely. And you know what's so crazy is it's true because we know that millions and millions and millions of people voted for and love Trump. If we all said for like one day, you know, they do like, oh, put your black profile picture on Instagram for Black Lives
Right.
Matter.
Right.
If we all said, let's all wear our MAGA gear on one day of the year, I would say maybe January 6th. I don't know.
I love it.
We
I
would
love
look
it.
around. If everyone did it, we would look around and go, oh my gosh, there's one person not wearing a hat. One.
Honey,
But like,
I say that all the time. And I also say this. We are not losing because of Ilhan
mm-mm,
Omar. We are not losing because of AOC. We are not losing because of Biden. We are losing because of the cowardice and the
mhm.
complacency of most
Yes.
conservatives. They have their Monday night football, they have their beer, their job is still going okay. and they just let people like you and me fight the battle for them. Honey,
Right.
no, we are
The time is
losing
now.
because you have not said
Yes.
anything. You haven't said anything on social media, which you need to. You haven't said anything to your coworkers, which you need to. If you hear a Trump derangement syndrome conversation at your workplace, or your workplace embraces the drugging and castration of trans kids, you need to say something, honey.
That's right. Yep. I
So
totally agree.
losing, honey. We are losing, by the way. Our country is unrecognizable.
Yeah.
So we
You
have
can
to awaken other patriots. And my hope is to, like, okay, if you're gay out there and you're watching, which a lot of you watch me, you're stalkers, but you know I'm telling the truth. And if you are on the left, join us. You will find the most incredible people you have ever known. And you know you want a strong border. You know you want the right to own a gun if you live in the ghetto and you're a scared single mom. You know you want free speech for yourself. You know that you love America and the American flag represents hope and freedom. So stop being a coward. Join us. You might lose your job temporarily, but it's worth it, because we're going to lose unless more conservatives join us,
right.
especially.
And I would never want to be the one waking up and going, well, we lost, but those people they fought a good fight. They did. I want to know I did my part. And I had a hard time the first couple of years. I was really bitter, probably the first year after losing all my businesses, and said, all those stylists in Salem that sat back and watched me open, but they didn't come to my salon, right? I lost my salon ultimately because of cancel culture, not because of fighting the government, because people were like, I support you, I support you. And I'm like, but you're still paying rent to the salon owner that doesn't support you and that's like crucifying me. How about you come to my salon and pay me rent so that I can keep my business afloat? And I was so bitter for the first year saying, okay, well, they just weren't strong enough. And I was, and they didn't want to get canceled. And now that 2 years have gone by, I'm like, how's it working out for you staying silent? How's it working out on your conscience, watching everyone else lose everything while you sit there and you're happy
How are
to
those
lose?
gas prices working out for you?
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. No, actually, I'm so glad you and I are talking, because I admit every single day I'm traumatized losing my career, my 8-year career, my 401k, my health insurance, my life plans, because when you're a flight attendant, you get free travel, and I had all these
Yep.
plans for my life, and now I'm stuck in Utah. And so I know the pain of losing your whole life vision because you stood up for the truth, and you do too. But I have a question for you. Do you
Okay.
regret it at all? Zero.
Zero. In
Me
fact,
too.
in
Me too.
fact, not only do I not regret it, in my mind, if I could go back to my six-figure income, pleasantly doing casual hair clients, being the pillar of the community, and having a set for life career, I would not. I would do this all over again. And I mean that. That's not hypothetical. I could go back and do hair, right? I didn't get fired from my job. I could start over and it would take me a while to rebuild and I could, but I don't want to. God has put me on a bigger purpose and it feels amazing. And I try to tell people that, and I'm betting you do too, that everyone that's so scared of losing what they have, they don't realize, gosh, how much more fulfilling it is to be able to speak up and be exactly who you are and speak up about what you believe in. And also knowing, and I hope you know this, that there is something bigger and better out there. I'm going to watch you, just
Hold on, I
grow.
gotta get something to show you. But anybody watching, if you're afraid of losing your job because you work for a woke bank like Wells Fargo, or a woke airline, or a woke situation, you're not going to lose it yet, but you will eventually lose it.
That's right. Eventually they're going to figure
Armies
you
are
out.
coming for your bank records.
That's
They're
right.
coming for people who own guns.
Mhm.
They're coming for your PayPal. They
That's
are.
right.
We have what, 87,000 new IRS agents. You
Mhm.
don't
What do
think
you
they're
think they're doing during the day?
going to and go for the Republicans? So it's like, honey, exit now, because
Yeah.
we are finding ways to financially sustain ourselves within the Patriot community. But I want to show you something real quick. Okay, so I grew up Mormon, And I know a lot of people think Mormons are not Christians, but I went on a 2-year mission to France as a Mormon missionary. I was not focused on Joseph Smith. I was not focused on the Mormon religion. I was focused on Jesus. So I have to just clear the air. So here's my favorite frame picture of Jesus that I have.
Beautiful. Did you get that at the thrift store too?
No, my niece gave me this image. She's a staunch hardcore Mormon who believes homosexuality is a sin, but that's okay. We are still
Mhm.
best friends, and we're just going to let God follow our heart and figure out what to do. So these are wildflowers that I picked in the mountains, and I framed them.
Beautiful.
And I just believe that life is a mystery, homosexuality is a mystery, but I choose to be a Christian and hold on to those beliefs, even though some people tell me I'm not allowed to do that. It's like it's about compassion and forgiveness, and he follows your heart. And I can testify in the name of Jesus that everything I do does not come from a place of trying to destroy the traditional family or indoctrinate or sexualize kids. I'm just a very strange guy who happens to be very theatrical. And I believe that God called me to do this because I can say things in my wig that you could never say.
Well, and I make that point quite a bit, that a lot of us have authority in certain places, whereas others don't, right? So
Right.
when BLM came out in the George Floyd thing and they were, threatening to burn my salon down and all this stuff, I actually felt like, I don't know much about racism because I'm not a racist. Surprise. And I don't know a lot about the black culture and the black community. And I would never agree with the concept of white privilege. I imagine that there is a little bit of privilege, like in everything, in every position that everyone in America has, every single one. Do I have female privilege? Probably a little bit. Do you have male privilege? Probably a little bit. Is it affecting our entire country?
But
Probably
honey,
not.
I have to say this. So in my family, we have an adopted African, and he's
Mm.
22 years old now. And he tells me that you don't have white privilege anymore. I have black privilege.
Oh, that's so cute.
No, but it's real.
Right.
Like, can I get my can I get discounts or scholarships or have my debt canceled? Or just like we saw the banks, they're offering mortgage loans to only black people. And
Right.
here's my thing about white privilege. Yeah, day to day here in Utah, I walk around like a white guy, looking good. But at the end of the day, I I left the Mormon University, Brigham Young University, because I'm gay, and I signed an honor code that said,
I will not be gay.
I agree with your policies. And so instead of being a hypocrite and a liar, I respected the dignity and the free speech of that university, and I left. That being said, I lost all of the tithing subsidies for my education. So I had to take out student loans and go to another university. And in order to pay off those loans and get myself through college, I worked 3 jobs. I taught dance, I taught fitness, and I worked in a hotel on the night shift. So my question is, where's my white privilege in that?
Right.
Where
Right.
was I privileged? I started over. I busted my butt. I paid off all my student loans, which I
Mhm.
only paid off a few years ago. But
Or you could have just waited and Biden would have paid him off for you.
uh,
I would have helped you with my taxes, of course.
well, I think it's amazing that hairstylists and plumbers and construction workers
Mhm.
and Walmart cashiers are paying off the student loans of people who majored in transgender lesbian dance studies.
Right.
It's
Right.
such a joke. It's such a joke.
Oh
And I
my
don't
gosh.
think Democrats are happy about that either. But again, they're afraid to say anything.
Mhm.
So we
So,
got to
okay.
Democrats, anybody watching, you might be flamboyant. You might be totally on the left. I know you see me and you're like, wait a minute. Are all conservatives boring men like, Dan Crenshaw or Mitt Romney or Ted Cruz? No, the Make America Great Again movement and our entire patriot movement is about freedom and nothing else.
Yes. Okay, so then here, I have so many questions for you. What do
Oh,
you
great.
say? Because I bet you know the answer and I don't, because right? Because I don't have authority in this specific category. What do you
Right.
say when people say, "How do you support Trump as a gay man? Isn't he against homosexuality?"
Oh, I love that question because it's so easy to answer. Number
Perfect.
one, Donald J. Trump was the most pro-gay, pro-homosexual president in American history. And I'll tell you why. Obama entered office against gay marriage.
Mhm.
Okay. And Trump is the only president in American history to go in front of the United Nations and give a speech condemning the torture, killing, castration of gay people in countries, Middle Eastern countries primarily. We can't be Islamophobic if we're gay, but if you go to
Right.
their countries, you know, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, you're going to be put in jail and punished. So
Totally.
President Trump is the only president in American history to stand up and look those barbaric leaders in their eyes and say, we condemn your treatment of gay people. And we condemn your criminalization and imprisonment and torture and castration of homosexuals. But of course, that speech did not make it to CNN. And here's a
Of course
and
not.
here and here's a personal story. This is my only direct connection with Donald Trump. So I was at the Trump Pride event in Tennessee. We had, you know, gay conservatives who need to find one another and just have a big party. So instead of like sexual pride, we call it Trump Pride. And we had a
Yeah.
big party. And at the hotel, I was invited to go up to a suite. And they said, don't mention this, come on up. And we had about 12 to 15 gay conservatives in the room. And we were with Richard Grinnell. You know who that is, right?
Mhm. Yes. Yeah.
He's hardcore. He's a hardcore patriot. And by the way, I'm not going to speak for him. But so we're up in that room. Everything's great. It's a little VIP reception. And he said, I have a surprise for all of you. Turned on his phone, and guess who got on the phone?
President Trump.
It was President Trump.
Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
pretty sure that President Trump's secret security knew exactly who was in that room, right? I don't think
Mhm.
Donald Trump is going to speak to a room of people. So he knew
No.
I was in there. And all he said was, thank you all for standing up for our country.
Mm.
Thank you for all of your hard work. I'm with you and I love you. And Melania Trump is the only first lady in history to do a video for the Log Cabin Republicans and thank the gay patriots out there. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't support the right of religious people to disagree with us. It
Right.
just means that, honey, it's 2022. And we all have to join this movement, or we're all going
Mhm.
to lose our freedoms, whether you're an evangelical or a drag artist. Because
Sure.
the more we give power to China, which makes it illegal for an effeminate man to be on their social media, you think eventually that's not going to happen in America now that China
Right. Yeah. You've already banned on TikTok.
Oh, honey. And the funny thing is when I got banned, the screenshot of when I was banned, it didn't say you are permanently banned. It didn't say you're permanently banned, YOU apostrophe RE. It said,
Uh-huh.
"Ooh, permanently banned." No, really. Like China is sitting back and they are laughing at us.
Oh, they are. Yep.
They are
Absolutely.
they are preparing a hardcore alpha military. They are
Mhm.
supporting the traditional family. They are banning effeminate people from their media while they are pushing the transgender narrative to
Mhm.
create suicidal, emotionally abused Americans and just pushing that agenda while they sit back and laugh. The whole world, the Islamic world, China, Russia, they are laughing at us and they are behind the scenes orchestrating our cultural downfall. That being said, me dressing up and being gay is not a part of our cultural downfall unless I try to force my views, indoctrinate, and erase the traditional family. And I'm not stupid. I know that a mother and a father is the ideal.
Hmm.
That is the
Okay,
ideal. So
let's put you on record for the most controversial question of all.
awesome. Awesome.
Kids aside, because that's like a non-option. Do
Right.
you believe a person can transition? Do you believe in transgenders?
To the opposite gender,
Yeah.
um, let me smell the truth
Smells good, doesn't it?
and say absolutely not. And when I say absolutely, it's kind of like the word fugly from Mean Girls.
Oh.
Absolutely not. That being said, if somebody like Caitlyn Jenner wants to wear what he wants to cut off his little, his little meatballs and live his life, I but I'm willing to say, you know what, live your life as you see fit. And as
Right.
long as I'm not punished for a hate crime and I'm not legislatively forced, I'll call you Caitlyn. That's fine. But um, this is the ultimate question, and this is what I fight. There are two genders.
Mhm.
That being said, and that's final.
Yep.
No adult transgender man is a biological woman. No adult transgender man can become a woman. And that being said, if someone wants to have makeup, hair, live their life a certain way, if they're 18 and over, God bless you. I will be nice to you, but I will never, ever claim that you are the equivalent of my sister or my nieces, especially in sports and bathrooms and locker rooms and definitions like the maternity ward is the maternity ward. Now there's,
Ooh, good call.
oh, of course, they're
I never
switched
thought about that.
to
That exact terminology, because 'cause they're trying to change everything.
every.
Like, you can't call it a manhole anymore, you gotta call it, like, a person hole in New York. I'm like, "Oh my gosh," as a female, I would like to say that I'm not offended that it's called a manhole. Can we please move on to bigger and better subjects?
Well, one of the other methods that the globalists are using right now is keeping us fighting over these issues
Yeah.
instead of paying attention to what's happening to our Second Amendment, what's happening to our banking systems. You know about
Mhm.
ESG, right?
No, do tell.
Environmental social governance. And the
Okay.
international council that gets to decide who does business depending on their climate change score. Just go to Glenn Beck and look up ESG. So
Okay.
these are the real and free speech and
Mhm.
censorship. These are the real things we should be talking about. But the leftists keep pushing issues like this to keep us all riled up. And I am riled up about it. One of the reasons I'm so passionate about, and I will not stop dressing up, when I see drag queen perverts doing sex shows or twerking or getting tips in their thongs, I want to quit. I'm like, ugh, you guys have ruined it. But here's why I won't stop dressing up. Because when I was a little boy, I loved Barbies. I loved My Little Pony. When nobody was home, I'd put on my sister's poofy prom dress and just twirl in front of the mirror. It terrifies me to know that today I feel like Kamala Harris. Um,
But you gotta cackle. There's a cackle due in there somewhere.
Americans are facing issues that Americans are
Are
facing
facing. And we're
today.
facing them as Americans in an America that doesn't know how to face them.
Well, and as we move on, we have goals, and those goals are embraced by the American people. Anyway, okay, so I totally
It's
got
like
sidetracked. So what was I telling you? Oh, so when I was a little boy, I loved all this crap. And one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this, and conservatives who hate me, I want you to listen to this. So I was a little boy who wore dresses, played with Barbie. I was always a little flamer. I'm just a flamer, an alpha flamer, which we'll talk about in a minute. But if I had been born today to woke parents, they would have convinced me that I was in the wrong body.
yes, and your school
Would-
counselor. and a
All of them. Oh,
therapist. Yep.
LGBTQ, everything. So
Yep.
they would have told me that I'm in the wrong body. And to me, there is no greater mental, social, and emotional abuse than telling a small child your physiology is wrong.
Right. There is no greater abuse than taking a child in an already vulnerable state as a young child and saying everything about you is wrong. Because that's all they have, right? All you have when you come out of your mother's womb is your gender. And to say that from the beginning of your birth, from the beginning of your creation, you are screwed up. That's their entire identity. And if you say that's screwed up, they don't know anything else. You've ruined them.
You've ruined them because I recently did a podcast with mama bears in Iowa. You wouldn't think that mama bears and me would be friends, but we love one another.
Hey,
And
I'm
they
a mama
asked,
bear and I love you.
oh,
So,
well, they asked me to give a direct speech to these children who believe they're in the wrong body, or to the teens who say they're not a boy or a girl. And my primary message to these kids, which I would only share with the parents' permission, by the way,
right,
I just tell them, if anyone ever tries to tell you that there is something wrong with your beautiful body, they are your enemy. If you are
mm,
a girl and you have breasts, or you're a boy and you have a penis, that is the way God made you. And if anybody tries to tell you that there's something wrong with your body, they are your enemy. And if you are a boy who likes makeup and dresses, you are a boy who likes makeup and dresses. And you
that's
can give
right.
the middle finger to anybody who says that you can't. And if you're a girl and you hate makeup and you hate pink and you never wanted to play with Barbies, you're not a boy. You're just a really awesome, tough, badass girl.
Thank you. I made a video about this on social media. I was such a tomboy. Honestly, I still am. I just love makeup and pink. But I had brothers and we wrestled and we fought and I held my own. And when my little brothers wanted to go rollerblade and skitch off the back of vehicles, I was like, watch me go first. If I would have been raised in a liberal or a woke home, people would have said, she's got a lot of boyish tendencies. And you know what sucks? Is then these poor girls that are already just kind of tomboys, and that's a completely normal thing. They get
Totally.
13 and they start seeing things change and they say, this is not my body and I don't know what's going on. And that's completely normal too. And now people are saying, well, if you're not comfortable in breasts, maybe we should cut them off.
No, and the Boston Children's Hospital is offering hysterectomies for 6-year-old girls, and 13-year-old girls are cutting off their beautiful biological breasts and they end up with scars. And I
Mhm.
want to talk about transgender suicide.
Yes, please.
Please listen, everybody. The left has weaponized the trans suicide epidemic, because it is. These poor people are killing themselves. It is a
Mhm.
fact. And so they say trans people are killing themselves. We have to stop trans suicide. And I agree. But we have to ask, why are they killing themselves? Is it because of Lady MAGA? People have told me directly that I am responsible for the suicides of transgender kids.
Oh my
Is it
gosh.
because of Patriot Barbie? Is it because of Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Or is it because you have a vulnerable, emotionally unstable 13-year-old boy or girl going through adolescence, which is already torture, and you are drugging them with hormones that do not belong in their body, and they become emotionally imbalanced? Because you give a boy estrogen, you give a girl testosterone, they're no longer emotionally stable, because it
Mm-mm.
is a fact those hormones are foreign to the body. It's like
Right.
doing drugs or taking cocaine.
Yeah.
So these kids, they get the drugs. Let's say a 13-year-old girl gets a mastectomy. Let's say a 9-year-old boy goes on puberty blockers and his testicles do not develop and he's basically a eunuch. These kids reach age 16, 17, 18, and they quite literally look to the heavens and they say, my God, what have I done?
Mm-hmm.
Or what have my parents and the medical professionals done to me? Then they become suicidal. Then they kill themselves. And one of the reasons they become so suicidal is they are lied to and told, you're a boy, you can become a woman. And then when they realize
They
I'm not
can't.
a woman, I
And
never
now I'm not a boy.
and I'm
What
not
am I?
I never will be. What am I?
I
And so
am nothing. I should kill myself.
yes, and that
Yep.
breaks my heart. And I will say this, I walked away from the LGBTQ movement in 2019. And before that, I was very heavily entrenched in the whole movement because I thought that's where my friends were. And this is no insult to transgender people, especially Blair White, because I'm obsessed with her. So my transgender friends who I've known personally, there is not one of them, and I've known a lot, who is not emotionally traumatized on every depression medication you can imagine and living in emotional turmoil day and night. They become angry. If you're a woman on testosterone, you become angry, you become upset. I have a dear friend. I will love him, whatever, forever. When I first met him, I didn't know that he was transgender, and I was a drag performer in Boston. And do you remember Janet Jackson? If dun, 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 dun,
I
dun.
do.
Yeah, so I did that number like the blonde Rihanna Woods version of it. And I asked him, would you be in my number? Because you know how she like flirts with the guy or whatever. So
Yeah.
we went to the rehearsal and we were rehearsing the choreography and he said something and I was like, what? And he was a trans woman who had a beard, a hairy chest. I had no idea that this person was a transgender person. And then as I was like, oh, we're still doing the number. I don't care. You look like a dude.
Okay,
So
so yeah, I'm always confused by the whole trans conversation because I'm like, if you call him a he, is he really a
I
he
don't
or is he
I
really a
don't
she?
I don't know.
So
Uh,
it's a biological female.
right. And I also
Okay.
think that as long as we put the word trans
Hmm.
woman or trans man, that does make a distinction between men and women.
Agree.
This person was a trans man, which, of course, we know is a biological woman living on testosterone. So this person, bless his heart, was such a good person. But I watched this person get in physical fights at the nightclubs. I watched this person screaming on the telephone. I watched this person dealing with like debilitating suicidal tendencies.
Mm,
And I know it's because this person was taking drugs.
hmm.
And so I support his right to do that, just like I support people's right to smoke weed. I don't like weed. But you can't deny the consequences of drug use or hormone injections. And so this person, I don't want to name him or get him in trouble, but
Definitely
um,
not.
let me just speak in theoretical terms. I'm no longer going to be specific, but I know a transgender man, okay, biological woman who is a man,
Hmm.
who won the title of Mr. Gay Pride, okay?
Hmm.
Mr. Gay Pride, whatever.
Okay.
You got a beard, you look like a man, you get the title. The LGBTQIA plus mafia came after him and wanted his title removed. You know why?
Because he's not a man.
No,
No. Why?
because he
Oh,
passed
he transitioned.
he
Okay, I'm
passes
actually trying to guess.
everyday life as a cis white man.
Oh my gosh.
So I've had conversations with this person who was like, they want to remove my title because they say I have white privilege and male privilege because you would never know this woman was living as a man. So the best thing that ever happens in this whole leftist movement is when they eat their own.
Yes.
because
Seriously, we are watching it
term,
every single day.
and they're like,
Yep.
wait a minute, you're not
Yep.
even. I went through surgery, I went through hormones, I went through a mastectomy, I went through everything, and I won Mr. Gay Pride, and you want to take away my title because I'm too privileged and white?
Because I'm too male? Because I'm too male? Oh my gosh.
So, you know, even with Drag Queen Story Hour, every time I see these videos and I make reactions, you guys got to go to Facebook, Lady MAGA USA, Twitter, Lady MAGA USA, Instagram, LMUSA 1770. I do reaction videos all the time. Every time I see these videos, my heart breaks because I know they're making my job harder as a person who's theatrical and loves to dress up. But I also give thanks that they are exposing their agenda.
Right.
They are
Yep.
bringing the real LGBTQ movement to light. And in the past, like the gay rights movement, let's say in the 70s, I don't think a gay person or a lesbian should be punished by law and go to jail. I
No,
really
I
don't.
mean,
So
no.
in the past, there was a battle. There was education that needed to happen. But if you look at the gay men marching back in the day, they're wearing suits.
Right.
It progressively got more and
Yep.
more weird as more and more freak shows started to join the movement. And so I have to explain what the modern LGBTQIA plus agenda is about. And I'll
Mhm.
start by telling you it is not about gay men, and it is not about lesbians, and it is not about consenting adults living their
Mhm.
sexual lives. It is about indoctrination. And I'll tell you
Yep.
why. The Human Rights Campaign, GLAAD, gays and lesbian, whatever, pride centers across this country, organizations like Equality Utah here in Utah, they all realized, holy crap, America doesn't care about their gay neighbors or their lesbian neighbors. America loves their gay hairstylist.
Mhm.
America loves their gay interior decorator. America goes to drag shows in nightclubs. They don't care. America loves their lesbian neighbors who help them fix their roof. So they
Right.
realized, holy crap, the battle is over.
Mm.
So, what can we do to create a new victim narrative that is lucrative and socially empowering? So, the new narrative, if you look at any LGBTQ rights organization, they never talk about gay guys like me. They never talk about lesbians. Everything is focused on children. Reason
Mhm.
number one is because just like the Democrats do with Black people, they present themselves as the saviors and we care about Black people, nobody else does. So, socially and public relations wise, that sounds amazing. You care about Black people, so do I. And they join. So, by presenting themselves, Joe Biden, Democrats, and every LGBTQIA plus mainstream organization, their focus is on trans children
Mhm.
because socially it is so powerful for them to present themselves as the defenders of these potentially suicidal children. So that's number
Yep.
one. Use them for political power and social power. And then reason number two is, you know, you're in politics. At the end of the day, we know almost everything is about money. And we have to ask ourselves why we went from like 50 gender clinics in 2007 to hundreds across the nation. It's because the pharmaceutical industry and the medical profession is making billions of dollars
Mutilating children.
pounds and the mutilation of little kids like I was.
And
So that
then they're going to make another billion or 2 reversing all of those procedures
well,
when that
they
child
were
grows up.
that is impossible.
Yeah. Trying to reverse. Yes, correct. Trying to reverse.
There's no such thing as a full reversal. If you
Course.
take puberty blockers and your testicles do not grow and your Adam's apple does not grow, there's no way to reverse that. And that is the greatest lie within this whole trans kids movement is that puberty blockers are temporary. they can go off of the puberty blockers and resume their development. It's a question of science and biology. If you're 9 years old and you take puberty blockers, let's say when I was a little boy playing with Barbies, they gave me these blockers. My testicles would not have developed or dropped. My Adam's apple would not have developed. My bone mass and my muscle structure would not have developed. And I would have maybe, grown to a certain point with an effeminate, thin body. I don't know. But at
Mm-hmm.
age 17, if those fundamental biological processes never happened, there's no way to start them from the beginning.
Right. And
You
now, guess
liar.
what? You changed your mind. You realized I am a male. I think I'll be a male. Now you can't be the kind of male that you should be or want to be because you have a little girl's body and no testicles.
And
So this is again where the suicide comes in.
shriveled, shrunken sex organ
Yep.
that is not fully functional. So what they don't tell these kids, the kids at the Boston Children's Hospital, is that these procedures are going to render you incapable of having a satisfying intimate experience later in life.
Correct. A
And
normal life.
you think somebody who has sexual desires and feelings who cannot achieve a satisfying intimate sensation isn't going to become suicidal? I would.
Right. Yep.
You would.
Yep.
Of course. So we have to protect these people. I mean, it's just complete and total abuse. We look at the Mayans, we look at the Aztecs with the child sacrifice on the altars. We look at the Islamic countries that perform female genital mutilation, which I've studied, FGM. Do you know what that is?
Female genital mutilation.
Well, it's where they go into the body of a 5-year-old girl and they remove her organs. And they I hate to talk about this, but whatever. They sew them up so that they only have a tiny opening so that when they're given to a man, they know that they were a virgin, but they will never have a sexual sensation and they will never have the big O. And so we judge that. Although Ilhan Omar never speaks out against that, even though it's happening in the Somalian community in Michigan and Minnesota, by the way. But we are worse than that.
Yeah.
We are worse
Absolutely.
than the Mayans and the Aztecs. We are using these children on the altar, on the pyramid of social justice and transgenderism, and we're sacrificing them. And the left knows that. Medical professionals know that. The pharmaceutical industry knows that. But we have to remember Bill Gates, Joe Biden, the globalist, George Soros. What do they want? They want depopulation.
Right.
They don't
People,
want.
if people are killing themselves, they're doing half the job for them.
And if we render them infertile at age 6, then we won't have reproduction of the population. So it really goes above and beyond what we see on the surface. It's about money. It's about social power. It's about depopulation. And I'm just so excited. Have you ever heard of gays against groomers? Hopefully I can say that word.
I was going to bring them up to you. I'm in the mom army and we're aligned with Gays Against Groomers and I share their content all the time.
And they share
So
my
incredible. Are you in that group yet?
Oh, I totally am. And they've shared my
Are you
content.
the vice president?
Like me as Lady MAGA USA, the drag artist, I am the man dressed up equivalent of Gays Against Groomers. And of course, I want to save the children of America and I want to stop indoctrination in kindergarten and preschool and first grade and middle schools. But my primary motivation comes from the knowledge, knowing I was that little boy.
You have authority here. You have authority. You have a platform and you have the ability to speak to these kids. And I'm so, so thankful for that. I appreciate your voice, Ryan.
I love you, honey.
I love you too. Do you have a cheers?
What's that?
Do you have a cheers ready?
A cheers. Sure. I have my flowers. We'll just do this. Ready? Okay. Cheers.
Ooh.
Boop.
What are we cheersing to?
So cheers to two things.
Okay.
Cheers to the protection of children.
Mm.
And cheers to freedom of expression. So somebody like me can live my life. Right? And
Cheers to that.
Christians. So cheers. Boom. Right there. All right, honey. Don't forget, you owe me a t-shirt and I owe you a Barbie. I'm going to go I'm going to find that brown-haired Barbie, but I'm also going to use one of my old brown wigs and make sure her hair is like really big, because Barbies don't have enough hair. There's no such thing as too much hair.
I agree. Totally fabulous. Okay. We'll do an Instagram live when we have our goodies.
Okay. I love you, baby.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Right. See you soon.
Thanks for tuning in to the Patriot Barbie podcast. Follow me on Truth Social at The Patriot Barbie and Instagram at the.patriot.barbie. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with your friends. You can find this show, my book Targeted, and my apparel line on www.patriotbarbie.com. God bless America, and God bless you.
It's Dylan's KC Barbecue at 4 Valley locations. Our sports bar in Arrowhead is packed with TVs for the ultimate sports fan. Our Wildlife World Zoo location will have you on the edge of your seat, dining right next to our 60,000-gallon shark tank. Dylan's Bayou at Pleasant Harbor has never-ending sunsets, beautiful people, and live music every weekend. And our newest location, Western Trails Ranch, is 12 acres of rodeo fun and live outdoor concerts for the entire family. It's Dylan's KC Barbecue, where we're elite, unique, and memorable.